Welcome back to History. In today's video, we will look at the Mountbatten Dynasty. The most notable member might ring a bell for most people, Prince Philip, the late Duke of Edinburgh. We will travel back in time and explore the roots of the house and how it became known as the House of Mountbatten. To find the origins of the House of Mountbatten, we have to travel back to Germany, to the small town of Battenberg. The town is today located in the district of Waldeck-Frankenberg in the German state of Hesse. Battenberg is located on the river Eder, one of Germany's major rivers and a tributary of the Fulda. If we go back in time, we find that Battenberg used to belong to the Grand Duchy of Hesse. By 1866, the so-called Hinterland was annexed by the Kingdom of Prussia and was merged with the former Duchy of Nassau. As such, it became known as the province of Hesse-Nassau in 1868. After the First World War, the town belonged to the Free State of Prussia. Since 1945, it has been in the federal state of Hesse. The House of Mountbatten was established in 1917 during the midst of the First World War. By then, a few members of the House of Battenberg found themselves living over in the UK. During the wartime, anti-German sentiment rose and the royals tried to diminish all their ties to Germany. As such, the members of the House of Battenberg who were by then living in the UK changed their name to Mountbatten, the name we today often associate with the late Prince Philip and the British royal family. Mountbatten is a direct anglicization of the German name Battenberg. An alternative translation of Batten Hill was rejected by the members. The House of Battenberg was a morganatic branch of the House of Hesse-Darmstadt. Its origins lie in the morganatic marriage of Julia Hauke and Prince Alexander, who was the third son of Grand Duke Louis II of Hesse and Bahrain. Although Julia herself was a countess, her rank was too low for the children of her and Alexander to qualify for the succession of the throne of the Grand Duchy of Hesse. As such, Julia was made a Countess of Battenberg by her brother-in-law, Grand Duke Louis III of Hesse. In 1885, the title was elevated to princely status with no sovereignty. After 1858, the children of Julia and Alexander were known as the Prince and Princesses of Battenberg with the style of Royal Highness. Battenberg therefore became a morganatic cadet branch of the House of Hesse-Darmstadt. The House of Hesse-Darmstadt was itself a younger branch of the House of Hesse. It was formed in 1567 following the division of the Landgraviate of Hesse among the four sons of Landgrave Philip I. The House of Hesse itself was a branch of the House of Brabant, which was founded in the year 880. Now that we have traced back the origins of the Mountbatten Dynasty, let us look at the most prominent members of it and how it became so present within the British royal family. For this, we have to look back at the marriage between Julia and Alexander. Their marriage resulted in 5 children. The two that are interesting for us today are their sons Henry and Louis of Battenberg. Prince Louis of Battenberg married Princess Victoria of Hesse and Bahrain, his first cousin once removed. Victoria was a daughter of Louis IV, Grand Duke of Hesse and Bahrain, and Princess Alice of the United Kingdom. As such, she was a granddaughter of British Queen Victoria. Prince Louis had a long career in the British Royal Navy and was posted across Europe, always accompanied by his wife. After serving in the Royal Navy for over 40 years, Louis was appointed First Sea Lord, the professional head of the British Naval Service. When Louis in 1917 relinquished his German title at the behest of George V, he was made Marquess of Milford Haven. The peerage was especially created for Louis and honors the Welsh seaport and shipyard town of Milford Haven. Louis at the same time became the Earl of Medina and Viscount Alderney. Louis and Victoria had 4 children together: Alice, Louise, George, and Louis. Alice is the mother of Prince Philip, whom we will cover separately in just a few minutes. Louise became Queen of Sweden as the wife of King Gustav VI Adolf. Let us look at the couple's youngest son, Louis. Louis, just like his father, had an extensive career in the British Royal Navy. He became the first Earl Mountbatten of Burma when the peerage was created for him in 1947. Louis was the last Viceroy of India, a position he only held for 6 months. From 1955 to 1959, Louis served as First Sea Lord. Unlike with other royal peerages, the peerage of Mountbatten of Burma could pass to female descendants. As Louis only had daughters, it passed to the elder of both, Beatrice. She became the second Countess Mountbatten of Burma. Now let us look back at the other son of Julia and Alexander, Prince Henry of Battenberg. Prince Henry married Princess Beatrice, the youngest daughter of Queen Victoria. The wedding took place on July 23, 1885. On the same day, Henry became a British subject. From then on, the couple was known as their Royal Highnesses, Prince and Princess Henry of Battenberg. The couple had 4 children together: Alexander, Victoria Eugenie, Leopold, and Maurice. As Henry died in 1896, it was his eldest son who was granted a peerage in 1917. His son Alexander as such became the Marquess of Carisbrooke, Viscount Lawston, and Earl Berkhamsted. Alexander held those titles until his death in 1960. The titles became extinct following his death as he had no sons. Alexander's sister was Victoria Eugenie. She became Queen of Spain through her marriage to Alfonso XIII. Now let us continue with probably the most famous member of the House of Mountbatten, Prince Philip, the late Duke of Edinburgh. Prince Philip was the son of Alice of Battenberg. This might come as a surprise, but Philip was not born as a member of the House of Mountbatten. Philip was born on June 21, 1929, on the Greek island of Corfu. His father was Prince Andrew of Greece and Denmark, a son of Greek King George I. At birth, Philip was as such a prince of Greece and Denmark and belonged to the House of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Glücksburg. Traditionally, you inherit the house from your father. The same was the case with Philip, although his mother was born a member of the House of Battenberg. When Philip married the then Princess Elizabeth, he became a British subject. Following this, he changed his house to the House of Mountbatten. After the marriage of Philip and Elizabeth, there was some dispute over whether their descendants should belong to the House of Mountbatten or the House of Windsor. It was Queen Mary who expressed her aversion over this topic, and so it was decided that it would remain the House of Windsor. In 1960, the Privy Council decided that male-line descendants of the couple without royal styles and titles would use the surname Mountbatten-Windsor. However, descendants with royal styles and titles have also used the surname in the past. The first person to use it was Princess Anne in 1973 on the occasion of her marriage registry entry. Nevertheless, the official dynastic name of the British royal family remains the House of Windsor. The house will probably remain so in the future, unless a future monarch decides to change the dynastic name through a royal proclamation.